How do you feel when you are in an interview and the interviewer is asking you the questions that you have prepared for? Hi, my name is Vijay. I'm an L&D professional, an entrepreneur, an author, a coach and a trainer. In my 18 plus years of experience, I have seen many people miss small things while working towards their resume. If a resume is built correct and right and effective, 60% of the interview process is done there. Over here, we're going to learn a lot on how to make your resume effective. But let me tell you, I am not going to talk anything which is very obvious and those things which are available in different sources like in YouTube and Google. You can always look for that. These are certain things which are not very obvious and people tend to miss it. So stay tuned. If you find value in my content, kindly share the video, subscribe to this channel as a lot of learning is going to come ahead on your way. We're going to talk about 3 important secrets which can make your resume effective. The first secret is success story. Let me tell you something about me. I have come from a place called Berhampur, which is in Orissa. When I've come to Bangalore to do my MBA, day 1, I'm standing in the class of students where I was supposed to stand and give an introduction. So my professor called me, said, introduce yourself. Not a single word I could utter. I could just stand still like a stone. I was sad, I was upset, I was shattered. I thought talking in front of people, talking in English is something that I can never do in my life. Then the professor said, Vijay, take yourself 5 years time. In 5 years, you should be able to come here and take this subject which he is teaching, that was business communication. It did not took 5 years for me, but in 3 years time, I have come back to the institution and I was offered a subject, but I told them that I can do this subject only when you give me business communication because I wanted to fulfill the dream that the professor has put in my mind. In 3 years time, I was standing in the same institute where I studied my MBA and started giving lectures on business communication. Now this is a success story which I'm really proud of myself. Every individual will have a lot of their success stories and these stories needs to be used and utilized and informed and exhibited to people so that they understand how an individual is, not just what we talk in those 5-10 minutes, but how we have evolved as a person is very important. This is one of my success stories. I'm sure now you would be thinking, how do we put a story like this in a resume? Let me clarify to you. It is not about putting a story in the resume, but putting certain words, certain lines in the resume which will create a question in the interviewer's mind and they'll end up asking you about it. For example, goal-oriented, smart working, hard working, dedicated, structured process believer. Words like this, when I put in my resume, interviewer is going to ask me, what do you mean by this? What makes you say that you are a believer of a structured process? And here you go, I get a chance to talk about my success story. So the idea is like this. Once you have put your success story across, you need to find out what competencies or skills the success story is exhibiting. And all you need to do is in your resume, in various places, maybe the strengths, maybe the heading of the resume, maybe where you put the competencies, you need to put these words. So when you put a word like this or a phrase like this, when an interviewer looks at it and he asks about it, and here you go, you got a chance to talk about your success story. You need to work on this. A success story cannot be just thought on the spot and put. You need to really work on it. Write your success story, work on it and ensure you have made it clear and crisp. So when you say it is very clear and straight to people about what you are trying to say. you need to come up with a minimum of 3 success stories. Write it. And don't expect that every interview you will get a chance to talk about all your success stories. Wherever you get a chance, speak about it. These stories will show the competencies that you have, the passion that you have, the kind of a person that you are, and that will lead you to success in your interviews. Let me give you few examples which you can put in your resume. Ensured team management and handled delegation of tasks in College Fest. Transitioned from manual process and achieved reduced payroll discrepancies. Saved our marketing team over 200 hours a month by improving the approval process. When you listen to the statements like this, a question arises in the interviewer's mind, and there you get a chance to talk about your success stories, and that is important. Remember few things while you work on your success stories. First one, in your story you should be the hero. It's your story after all, so ensure you play the lead role in your story. The second one is never cook a fake story. Fake stories will not take ahead anywhere. You need to have your real stories that you need to introspect and find. Yeah, sometimes you can add a little spice to make it interesting for the audience. Your story should show the focus, the effort, and the result that it has given to you and to the organization or with whoever you have shared this story with. And the last and important thing, always write your story again and again until you make it very clear and crisp and you're focused when you're talking about it, which passes all the messages very easily and very clearly. As I mentioned, there are multiple ways in which you will get an opportunity to talk about your success stories in the interview. Look ahead for the future videos where I'm going to share some more content and some more ways of how well you can express this. I'm going to share a lot more content with you. So stay tuned, stay healthy, and happy learning.